welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm happy to be here again on this platform. Today we are going to be talking about a very important topic, a topic that relates to family, right? So we're going to be talking about, I'm sure you have seen it from the title already, we're going to be talking about motherhood and career in Canada. Yes, it could be all over the world as well. It applies globally. However, we're going to be focusing on the reality in Canada, right? So today, I'm going to be using some various scenarios as examples as well while I talk. But first, most importantly, it's a good thing that Canada has extended the maternity leave period to 18 months, right? Rather than 12 months. However, we know that the pay decreases, right, significantly. It's going to be 33% of your weekly earnings, right? While the 12 months period on is, I think, 55% of your weekly earning. So yeah, if you're okay with the 33% for 18 months, that's fine. But we know if you don't have any other source of income, it's just going to be a little bit harder. We know money is not the basis. The most important thing is having more time with your baby and enjoying that period. Making you can also be productive as well during that period, so it's not a total waste of time. For me, during that period, I was able to even get a certificate in human resources. I was able to kick all my, I was able to, yes, you're going to be hearing my baby on the background. That's part of the whole thing. We are talking about motherhood, right? So apologies for the noise. However, that's why I've not been on YouTube for a while, because it's just been from one thing to another. And having 4 kids and combining with a lot of things is not a joke, honestly speaking. But yeah, I'm excited. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. Yes, it's something, it's a dream, right, for most people, and I'm grateful for that. However, it's hard work, especially if you're somebody that really needs to work, right? And how will you be able to cope properly in Canada without working, right? I can't wrap my head around that. You're going to be living in poverty unless you have some investment here and there that you have done in the past that can sustain you, right? So coming back to what I was saying, 18 months is a good time to be able to bond with your baby and for your baby to a little bit independent if you want. I know from 8 months, 9 months, 10 months to 12 months, most baby are ready to go to daycare, right? So it all depends on you and how you feel about the whole thing. But typically, you're still going to either stay from 12 months or 18 months, right? And sometimes during the winter, it's too early. You want to wake up your children when it's still very dark in the morning to be able to drop them off in daycare and head to work and get to work at 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 9, depending on when you're starting work. So sometimes by 9 o'clock, it already feels like I've lived 100 years, honestly, when it's just 9 a.m. in the morning, because of the whole process of getting to work, right? If you're commuting, is even a lot more. And then you're dropping off those kids. You're not just going to drop them off 9 a.m. It already feels like I've lived 100 years before that time. So the whole process of getting these kids to daycare, if you're going to one, or if they're attending any, right, it's a whole lot. You're going to have to dress them up, freshen them up, dress them up, give them food, do all that stuff while you're also preparing for yourself, right? Yeah, it's even much better if you have a supportive spouse, right, that can help. But not everybody have the opportunity. Some people, their spouse even have left very early in the morning, depending on their schedule, right, and all that stuff. So sorry you'll be hearing my baby on the background. I apologize for that. Well, there is little or nothing I can do about it, right? If I try to avoid her, we are not going to talk about this, right? So she's just playing. Thank you, guys. So the whole process is a lot, right, for women, especially if you don't really have so much huge support system, right? Probably your mother is not here, because some people bring their mom over to be able to help as well. So if for one reason or the other you're not able to bring your mom, or you're not able to bring your parents, or probably your sister, I will not say sister, because if your sister is here, she also should be working, right? But I know there should be form of help from here and there. From your relation is huge. If you have a relation around, it's a good thing, it's a blessing, honestly, because when it comes, there are sometimes you will need somebody that will help you, pick up your child in daycare, probably when you're stuck with business meeting, or you're stuck at work, or the societal pressure here expect you to perform, right, as well, irrespective of whether you have children or not, you must perform well at work. So you also have the responsibility to juggle your family as well, right? Because sometimes your family can also be a priority, right? In reality, your family is huge. So if you have 4 kids, you have to schedule appointment to see for doctor's appointment, for vaccinations, for activities, children activities, recreational activities as well. And you also have the responsibility to run out of work, pick up your child if you need to, for one reason or the other. And you also need to plan meals, right? You also need to, planning meals is a whole lot on its own. Make meals, house chores and all that. If you have a supportive spouse, that's amazing, right? So regarding this topic, it's a whole lot. So how do we bring up strategies to help, right? How do you, to help yourself, if you're a woman or you're a mother that has 4 kids, that have 3 kids, and probably even with your spouse, it's still very hard, right? Or probably because sometimes the woman just finds herself doing more because of she is the mother, right? So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I think for me, the key thing is to plan your time, right? Be able to plan your time. I know sometimes you can plan your time even in the night if you're a mother, and then you're unable to sleep well in the night because of your baby, and the next morning you're tired, right? You're unable to really do much as expected. That's another lapse. So a situation like this, you have to find a way to make meals planning easier, right? Some Saturdays you also need to take your children to recreational activities, so you don't want to miss their recreational because you're cooking for the weekend. And so how do we go about it, guys? I want you to comment down below. Is a whole lot like, is underrated. People don't talk about it much, and I think it's a topic that people should talk about, because over time, when women juggle a lot, it gets a toll on them, and then it's not good for them. It's not good for their well-being and their mental health, right? So it's a whole lot. A lot of strategies I've used, but some appliances that helps me a lot, instead of like baking some food, right? Probably baking some chicken in the oven that would take, let's say, 40 minutes. I have a Ninja Foodie that will cook it in 10 minutes, right? And I can easily just stack up those food in the Ninja Foodie. I have panini makers, things that can quickly grill up sandwiches, hot sandwiches, if your children's food to be warm, right, during the day. So you can get some nuggets, right? um, Frozen pizzas, finger food, especially if you have picky eaters, right? That will not eat the regular, probably rice and beans and sauce, right? That you want to give them something that you can use to balance that out, and that will be really, really quick, right? You can have some hot dogs, you grill it fine. You don't want to feed your children too much frozen food, so it's just for lunch, right? And then dinner, you have to make proper dinner for them. And then breakfast, they can have whatever they want to have in the morning that you can prepare fast, right? Something like oats, right? Cereals, things that are really quick that they can have, right? You don't want to start making any thing that is complicated for them in the morning, and they won't even have so much big appetite in the morning, right? Because it's too early, right? You're leaving early to work, probably it's still dark, right? They can have oats, they can have cereal, something really light. They can have for those that are going to before school program. Before school programs sometimes provide breakfast, but for some families that prefer very warm food, they'll prefer to have their children eat at home, right? Because in daycare they can give them like cold milk with their cereal, right? Some children love it that way, while some kids will prefer something warm. So it all depends on you, it depends on what your child prefers to have. So but generally it's good for them, it's better for them to have breakfast at home before you head out. And so for you to be able to do that, it has to be something light. And then they go to daycare, and then they go to school in the morning or before school. Before school usually starts by 7 until 8:30 when their school starts. Why some school starts 9 o'clock, right? Here in Ontario, it all depends on the school. For my kids, their school starts at 9. They were previously going to the one that starts by 8:30 before we move to this area, right? So they start at 9, so their daycare stays for 2 hours. And if I'm going to be going to work at let's say 9 or 8:30 or 8 o'clock, then I have to make sure that I drop them off at 7:30. Okay, so 7:30 for 4 kids, right? If you have a spouse, probably your spouse can drop off, but then you're still going to pack, right? You have to make sure that their food is available for them. And yeah, so go for something fast, something really fast. And then when you're getting to work, we are still going to the juicy part of the whole thing, right? So for when you get to work, probably you're getting to work at 9 sharp because of commutes, right? You need to travel to your workplace, or you need to drive to your workplace, and then you're getting there at 9. Probably you're getting there 5 minutes to 9. Others have arrived probably 8:30 and settle down to rejuvenate themselves or get ready to do the work proper work for the day, and then you're breezing in 5 minutes to 9. Yes, your work will start at 9, so you're not breaking any law or you're not late. However, it's hard, when you get in there 5 minutes to 9 or even 2 minutes to 9, because you're dropping off daycares, you're doing all those preparation in the morning. By the time it's 9 o'clock, it's like you have lived 100 years, right? Before 9 o'clock. So, and then you start your day, and then you're the first person to leave the office again, right? You're not able to stay to 7. Probably if you have something important you need to get done, or if you're a manager, you're not able to stay extra hour. I'm not saying it's nice to work overtime, but sometimes you just want to relax, you don't want to rush out, take your time to get out of work. And then you're running to daycare, you're literally zooming to daycare to pick up the kids. And when you're picking them up, you're into the work already. Children are children are demanding, they want to ask for this and that, or they just chit-chat you ask them, all those things. And then you get back home, get back to meal, get back to getting them to bed, get back to making them sleep if you have a baby, get back to, oh my god, it's a whole lot, right? So motherhood and career, how do we make it easier? Yes, for meal you can juggle things and still make things work, and your children still have a very healthy meal, right? You're able to give them dinner after work, right? After work, you're not under any pressure. You can, I'm not saying you're under pressure, but you need to meet up with time. You need to have your time management on track, guys. So some people will prefer to just have 2 kids and that's it. Honestly, if you have a way, that's a way to go. But sometimes you may find yourself having 4 kids, right? Or 3 kids. It's a blessing, but then it's a lot of work. So another strategy is to see if you can bring your parents, if you can, because some people are not able to do that, probably because their parents are so aged, or probably mom have responsibility, to support the other parents and all that stuff, or one reason or the other at that point, or even work. Your parents can be working that she can't even get that permission for that long term, and then some have retired, so it's just a whole lot of reasons. For mothers, parents visa, you can easily get that. Not easily get that, like Canada issues parent visa without no stress, but it's harder to bring like a sibling, right? And even if you bring your sibling would love to work, which is proper, because she needs to also pursue her life dream as well. So for you, with 4 kids and having a career, already you're home for years, when you're going back to work, I'm thinking that the best thing is to get an employer that will give you yes, most in Canada, most employer respect work-life balance, but we know that in the real sense, some employers still want you to even work, not like work in non-work hours, but they expect so much from you, right? While some employer respect the fact that family is priority. So look out for those employers, right? They tend to be bigger employers, like large or mid-size. Hold on. So for employers, it's usually better to see if you can apply to companies that support work-life balance a lot in reality, right? So most companies even try to make their meetings happen between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? When you're not running for any doctor's appointment or any of that stuff, or probably going to pick up the kids. Another big thing is finishing work at 5 or 5:30 and zooming out to get to daycare before they close at 6. Wow, because most schools close at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, and then the children are transferred to daycare, right? After school program, that's what it's called, right? From 4 years. So if you have 4 years and below, right, they go to preschooler, daycare, or probably toddler or infant. They stay in daycare from for older kids from 4 and above, right? They stay in daycare from 3:30 when school have closed up to that's if school is on. If school is not on, they all go to daycare, right? From morning to evening. So they eat there, right, for daycare. But for school lunch, you have to pack their school lunch, right, if they're going to school. But daycare, they do feed them. So it's a whole lot. So sometimes when you're leaving work at 5:30 and there is traffic, right, or you're far from where your daycare is, So is another thing. I think another thing is to try to get daycare closer your work, if you're able to establish that. So you just pick them off immediately after. However, daycare are supposed to be around your home, right? Where your school is, the children's school is, because the children typically go to homeschool, right? So when you are allowed to go to any other school, but your first you're allowed to go to you're allowed your children are more expected to go to the school around their home, right? They qualify for bus and other things free of charge, right? So it's a nice thing for them to be able to go with the bus in the morning if your work schedule does not interfere, right? If the bus system is coming at 8:30 and you know that 8:30 when they drive off, you're able to still get to work, then that's fine. Or if their bus goes by 8 o'clock, and so these are all struggles. I know some men also participate in the struggle, but the onus is always on the women, right? For the maternity leave, even going back to work, you go back to work and probably your position was taken over by someone when you're not available, and then you're getting in, right, trying to balance off that absence. And yeah, some employers are supportive, they will help you, and especially if the person that took over your position is that's another thing altogether. It's a whole story on its own, but the absence alone interferes, right, with your routine, with how things were done for the past 1 year when you're away, right? So I think the whole thing is just being yourself, being the best you can at work, being a very positive employee, right? Being somebody that will go out of her way to also make sure that your team delivers, and so they know even when you're absent, right, your work, they are not allowed to give another person your position. However, if you're not a good employee, right, they can still retain the person and retain you, and then you will have a lot of problems. So just be the best you can. Honestly, women go through a lot of transition. The transition from birthing, transition from going back to work, at home, working tirelessly to nurture and raise children. It's a whole lot. Sometimes in the night you don't get your full sleep, and then you still work during the day, and then you still drive. My God, it's a whole lot. So it's underrated. People don't really talk so much about it. It's something people should talk about, and be able to learn strategies from each other, from mothers that have gone through this, even those that are trying to come to Canada, right? You're coming to Canada, you want to have 2 kids. 2 kids is already a lot as well. So you want to have 2 kids, you also want to build a career. Come, let's think about it. Some people will say yes, if you're probably back home where you can be self-employed. Yes, I know you can be self-employed here as well. Even if you're self-employed, you need to be hands-on for your business to thrive. You can't lazy around, you can't do things anyhow, right? And then for you to be self-employed, you need to have built up a lot of is a whole lot. Let's not go into that, right? If you're working, whether you're working or you're self-employed, you're building your it's a form of self-development. If you're just home nurturing kids, yes, for me, I was home and I was doing mat leave. It's a whole full-time job. It was on its own. However, I utilized the opportunity to get my human resources certification done, right? So it's also a time for you to be able to, do some extra things for yourself. For my transition, for my career transition, I utilized that period to get my HR education, right? So you can also do that. probably even learn French, because as a bilingual person you have more opportunities, right, to thrive. So you can learn French, you can learn a skill, you can learn something that will be very beneficial, that will put you on the forefront of better opportunity and an employer as well. So just saying, oh, I don't want to do this work thing, it's okay to say that. However, you have to be realistic. If you're not developing your career as well, is not a good thing. Or no, if you're not developing yourself, you're not doing anything, you're just not. Yes, you can be a full-time mom, right? However, you need to have a strong support system to be able to do that, right? So some women just find that they have to work, right? They have to work also for fulfillment as well, and not just fulfillment, for making sure that they're able to achieve something, or at least be able to solve problems regarding raising kids as well. So I think we've talked a lot. Yeah, I'm going to end this video now. Let me know your thoughts, let me know the strategies. I think the big one for me in this video is trying to get a work-life balance focused employer. You know, if you're working in a place that it's so overwhelming for you, and then you're paid below what is expected, right? Then see how you can build more skills, see how you can develop yourself, you can gain more skills, and see whether you can put yourself at the forefront, or for a better employer, right? Or for a better job and opportunity. So you can be able to, you know, work and still be happy, so you don't burn out. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Let me know your thoughts, let me know the strategies, let me know what you think. I think we are still going to talk more and more, and also we're going to focus more on career as well, right? For those of you that are in human resources, let me know, because I'm transitioning into human resources now, and I love that career path. I'm in love with it, I'm happy, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe. YouTube wrote me that I've been absent for a while. If you can help me, try to make sure that you don't skip ads, at least for now, right? So that I can get back, so YouTube can share my video and YouTube can promote my videos, right? I know that I have viewers. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, for your support. I appreciate, and we're going to talk more in my next video. Bye for now.